Hey, what's up guys, this is John from Back on the Road DIY. Today we're going to be replacing the rear brakes and rotors on this Honda Accord 2008. So let's jump to it. Okay, now we're going to remove the 12mm bolts here that hold the caliper. Sometimes they are too tight and you could use a 17 to hold this to kind of, hold it in place, so it allows you to remove it easier. So let me show you what happens here. Look, as you guys see, this is moving with the whole thing, so we're not doing anything. So we're gonna have to hold it with a 17 and then break it loose, as you guys see here. Then we go here. Don't remove it all the way, just a little bit. And you do the same at the bottom. Now I got a little extension to access this better. Get in there. Hold it with a 17. There we go. Move it by hand, both top and bottom. You're gonna need a bungee cord, and we're gonna grab a pry bar or a screwdriver, whatever you have. There we go. Start to move. There we go. Take it out. Get up right here. We are going to use our bungee cord just to support it a little bit, because we don't want it just hanging on the, so that way we put it out the way, and the bungee cord is holding it, so we're not putting pressure on the brake line. Now we have the caliper out the way. Now we're gonna go behind here, and right here is gonna be a 17 and a 17 that holds the bracket. So we're gonna remove that, but first let's remove the brake pads. Wow, look at this. Look how nasty it looks. This is very bad. Same thing with this one. There we go. Look at this. Wow. You only had a little bit of brake. This is the wear indicator. And look, you had only just a tiny bit more. And it looks like the caliper might be seized because it's wearing unevenly. So we're gonna put some paste in here, and I could tell, look how hard this is. This should be very loose. It's a little bit sticky, not moving very nice. So that tells me that there's something here. Need some lubrication. So we put this away. Now we're gonna remove the 17mm in the back to remove the bracket. And here we go. We're gonna grab our 17. I don't need the extension for this one. There we go. Got it loose. Now we get the top one right here. There we go. Got it loose. It's perfect. And this is why I recommend these electric ratchets, because okay, it's loose. There we go. Yeah, now it's so much easier just to take it out. Take these out, and we remove these washers that are on the knuckle. Make sure you save them, put them on the side. I'm actually gonna leave that there. It's gonna help me when I put it back to start it up, so that's good. Now we're gonna remove the rotor, and as you guys see here, there is a little Phillips screw right here that we gotta remove. Sometimes it might be very tight, so we're gonna have to hit it with the hammer a little bit and then remove it. Okay, we're gonna put this Phillips right here and hit it with the hammer. A couple blows. Try it. It's not gonna turn, of course, so we gotta get some penetrating fluid. Just let it sit there for a second. After trying dozens of tricks on how to remove these screws, they don't want to come out, so I was forced to use a screw extractor. These screws are not really necessary, they're just there to hold the rotor when they build the car. So if you ever take them out, in fact some of the rotors don't even come with the hole for the screws, the aftermarket ones, so they're not really necessary. The bracket and everything else, when you put it together, will hold this. So but if you want to be safe, you could go to the auto parts store and buy some. They cost like $5 and come with the set of 8. And this is how this works. You're gonna put the drill bit counterclockwise, and you're gonna drill an 1/8 of an inch hole. Clean the hole, and then you put the extractor, and I like to hit it with the hammer so it really gets in there. And then using a wrench, you just turn it counterclockwise as if you were removing any regular screw. And finally here, I got it out. Now we take the old rotor out. I had to hit it with the hammer a little bit because it was seized. Clean the wheel hub with a wire brush, and then with brake cleaner. I like to put copper anti-seize on the wheel hub so the rotors will not get seized for next change. The rotors come with a protective film from the factories that protects them from rust, so you're gonna have to apply brake cleaner and wipe it down. Then I do the inside first, and then I put it back in the wheel hub. This particular rotor has the hole for the screws, so I'm gonna align them where they go. And then after you put them on, you put more brake fluid on the outer part of the rotor. This is a very important step, as you don't want slippery rotors. Now we're gonna grab a bracket. I'm gonna remove this. You just pull on it and you try to work your way here. There we go. Take one out. Try to get in here. A screwdriver will be fine here, but no, I found one right here. So we get a screwdriver, kind of open this up a little bit, and now you can take this out. Look at this is nasty. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna grab some brake cleaner. You're gonna clean them. I'm gonna grab a wire brush and clean right here as well. Because this rust is what gets with the rubber booth, and that's why they get stuck. That's it. Got one clean. Now the other one. see the slider pin. Looks like it needs to be replaced, because or you get some sandpaper and you sand it, because you see all of this is not coming out with the brake cleaner. You don't have to, but it would be better to replace them now. And I might, because this caliper have a problem and I'm gonna have to rebuild it. So you're gonna see in this video I'm gonna rebuild that as well. But basically what you do here is this, and you're gonna grab some silicone paste and you're gonna throw silicone paste here. It's only a tiny bit at the top, at the tip, not a lot, because if you put a lot, when it goes in, that it's not gonna let the pin go all the way in. So you don't want that. You just a little bit, and you see that's fine. This right here, and we go back here at the bracket, and you push the bracket in, and you start working it. There we go. Now look. Now you see how it moves freely. That's what you want. That's why I like the silicone paste, because then you can rub it here and it's gonna protect the rubber. Look at that. Perfect. Gonna do the same thing for the other one. Gonna buy the kit to rebuild the caliper, and if it comes with extra pins, I'll replace them. If not, I'll leave this. It should be fine. But my suggestion is get some sandpaper and fix them. I'm just showing you how to do it in case you are good. But even if the kit doesn't come with pins, I'm not comfortable with this, I'm gonna replace them. But what you do is the same thing. You put it in, rubber glue all the way down. Okay, now we're gonna put the bracket. And first, gonna get some screwdriver, remove the hardware, the old hardware. Make sure you take it out. Both sides. Perfect. Gonna get a wire brush. We're gonna clean here where they go. Go on the side. Some brake cleaner. Perfect. Now the brake hardware, and no worries, there's only one way to put them in, so you will not mess up. That's it. There's only one way. You guys see here. Look. There we go. Nothing on the other side. Perfect. And don't forget about, you cannot forget about, this is very important right here, what I'm going to tell you. You cannot forget about these spacers. You go right here. It is 2 of them. We are going to start at the one in the bottom. Now both of them get torqued to 80 foot-pounds. Okay guys, remember that I said that I saw that the pads were wearing unevenly and I was gonna rebuild the caliper. I was going to, but then when I found the parts They didn't have them in stock, so I had to order it online, and it would cost me around $25, I think, with shipping. It's crazy expensive because the parts to rebuild that caliper are usually very cheap. But I found these two calipers for $62 on eBay, so it was better off buying them new and just replace them than to, you know, rebuild them. And I have a video where I show how to change this in case that happens, so I just let it how it's supposed to be so we can continue. But if you want to watch the video on how to replace the rear calipers, I'll leave the video in the description. Okay, so we will be at this point if we didn't replace it. That's why I put it back how it was the other one. The only difference is that this piston is all the way compressed, because that was actually the problem with the other one. The piston wasn't compressing. It had a lot of rust, and you know, it was very bad, so it was better to replace it. But let's say if you're at that point, you're gonna get your brake tool, you're gonna slide it in, and we're gonna start just compressing the piston. I'm gonna show you something important with the piston in the rear, and this should be very easy. This is not hard when the piston is good. Now it's all the way back. You guys see? Now you just loosen it up, and it's just gonna come out. Fine. That's how you compress a piston. I'm gonna show you something that you're gonna need. You guys see that this piston has like a cross? This is very important because the rear pad that goes inside here is gonna have this little nipple that it has to align with this. If this is misaligned, it will not fit correctly. So this cross has to be centered. That's the only major point here. The cross has to be centered. Okay, now we get our brake hardware, and you just put it in. That's simple. You just slice in. Very simple. That one as well. Pretty easy. We're gonna get anti-seize and put just a tiny bit here at the top and in the bottom, just a little bit. This is just gonna avoid metal to metal contact, and then we put it in here in the back. This is very simple. Okay. Now we do the same with the other one. Anti-seize on top and bottom, just a tiny bit, and just part it off. Slide this one in here. And there we go. And just push it in. And that's pretty much it for now. Now I removed these new bolts. I put them here just so I don't lose them. But now we're gonna grab our caliper, and I like to put a little bit anti-seize also, just a little bit here on this side right here, just right here, a little bit, and on the other side, because that's gonna touch the brake pads and it's gonna allow for, you know, better, so it doesn't, you know, doesn't sound or nothing, because it's metal to metal. And let me show you guys. And I was telling you about a little kind of nipple thing. You see this right here? This little pin that pops out, it slides right in the middle of this type of caliper. So that's why this has to be aligned. And then after that, it's just as simple as just remove the bungee cord. We're gonna bring our caliper, and we're just gonna slide it over, And don't forget to put this, if yours comes with it, use it. Some brakes doesn't have it, but if yours have it, use it. Forgot to put it on. Let's put it on. Slide it in. We put our bolts. One. Second, I'm gonna slide them. I'm gonna get them tight and then torque it down to 26 foot-pounds. Remember, you can use a 17 to hold caliper. Put them in by hand. And now we torque them to 26 foot-pounds. And again, you have to hold it with the 17. There we go, that's 26 foot-pounds. Same thing with the bottom one. For this, I might need an extension. There we go, 26 foot-pounds. We are done. Now, what's next is now every time you replace the caliper, you have to bleed the brakes. But that's gonna be in our next video. So if you like this type of content, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and wait until the end. Then the next video will pop out. You're gonna click it and it's gonna show you how to bleed the brakes. Alright guys, thank you and see you in the next video.